Hey everybody, KC here. So I want to tell you a little story. So I am at the point in my life where I'm applying for Medicare, right? I'm actually coming to it a little bit late. When I turned 65, Mrs. Content Guy, working, had insurance. I stayed on her insurance. I didn't have to go to Medicare. But now she's retiring, and so the time has come. Going to go on Medicare, get a little supplemental, hopefully going to be in great shape. So anyway, but you know, listen, and while the people largely I've been talking to at Social Security and Medicare have been, you know, pretty nice people, we did encounter some problems, right? Things didn't work quite as smoothly as one wanted them to work, but that's okay. They work with us to try and make it all happen. But the part of it that I want to tell you about was the conversation I had when they had actually lost a form that we had already sent in twice that qualified me for Medicare Part B, right? They were giving me A. For some reason, they missed the part that I had applied for Medicare Part B. That's kind of important. So I'm on the phone with them and I said, listen, I've got the form here that you need. You should have it in your files, but we don't have it in our files. Okay, I have it. And they said, fine, just fax it over. Fax it over. I don't have a fax machine. Give me your email address. I'll leave it. Oh, no, sir, we don't take email. You don't take email? Well, first of all, if the federal government is going to put any kind of infrastructure package together, could we please get departments like Social Security and Medicare? Could we get them email services, please? Listen, I think the lesson here is very clear, which is you got to be in touch with your consumers, and you got to be in sync with how they communicate. Now, the folks at Social Security may be sitting there thinking to themselves, oh, no, we're dealing with old people. They don't use email. We'll just stick with fax machines. Well, first of all, I'm not sure that was ever true, that they were using fax machines more than email. But certainly right now, you've got people who are in 65, 66, 67 who are applying for Medicare. We're perfectly capable of using email. We've been using it for years. And now more than ever, you've got people who are senior citizens who have been on Zoom for the last 18 months because that's the only way they could communicate with their relatives and their grandchildren and people like that. So to me, this was just a great example of how an institution was completely out of sync with its customer base. Now, maybe it's not a surprise that the federal government is out of sync with its customer base, but I think it's the federal government has to pay attention to this. But also, I think as retailers have to look around and say to themselves, okay, are there places where we're making the same mistake? And if there are, fix it. Because the last thing you want to do is seem that out of sync with the people with whom you're doing business. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. I hope you have a great weekend. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.